Welcome back, trainers. So as you may know, Cresselia is going to be coming back into raids today, and with a possible shiny if you are lucky. Now, what is the point of even wanting a Cresselia? Are they even going to be good if you max them out? Not really, guys. There's going to be other psychic types that are going to be outperforming it. It does have a bit of bulk to it, which we're going to be going over the stats. And other than having the benefit of possibly it being shiny and adding that new legendary shiny to your collection, what's the real point of having it? Possibly having its IVs drop low enough for you to use it in the Great League, and even with a shiny variance at that would be a bit of a prize there. Yes, the IVs are going to be horrible, but even if you completely max it out, it's not going to really be good for anything in particular. It's going to be outperformed. It does have a fairy type charge move, but it's not even fairy typing. It's just psychic, so it's not going to even really be benefiting from that whatsoever. So it leaves the question, why do we even want these? What's the point? Well, Niantic is re-releasing it, as well as having that shiny variance, and that's what people are actually going to be wanting to go out and getting. Other than that, it's a very pretty looking Pokemon, but it's going to get outperformed by other psychic types in the Great League, and even by mythicals like Defense Form Deoxys, as well as even maybe a Celebi. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the stats and talk about why you may possibly want to have one of these, and why you should probably never max one of these out. And now taking a look at Cresselia, Defense Form Deoxys, as well as Lugia here, all of which can be in the Great League. The Cresselia, you're going to have to trade for that one, as well as the Lugia for the IVs to drop low enough for the CP to enable you to use it in the Great League. As far as the Deforms Deoxys, you're simply going to be able to catch it as long as it's not weather boosted and use it in the Great League. Now, if you're wondering, well, what's the big idea? The stats look great on the Cresselia. Max EP maxing out at 2,857, attack 152, defense at a whopping 258, and stamina 260. That doesn't look bad whatsoever, Poke. What you talking about over here? Well, it's going to come down to the movesets, which we're going to go over here in just a moment. And then you have the Defense Form Deoxys maxing out at 2,274, making it more ideal, I suppose, to use it in the Great League. And then it has an attack of 144, defense 330, so that's going to be a lot higher than the Cresselia, and then stamina 137, which is going to be a lot lower than the Cresselia there. And then if we look at Lugia here, if you're lucky enough to trade somebody and have the IVs drop into the Great League, is it going to be something you really want to use in there? Being a psychic and flying type is going to be doubled up resisting fighting type moves with a max CP of 3,703, attack 193, defense 310, and stamina 335. So it does have a bit of bulk to it as well. So all of these are holding, some tankiness to them. As far as the movesets go, Deoxys form does have a great moveset for the charge as well as the quick moves. Lugia is looking okay, and then Cresselia does have Confusion, Moonblast, Aura Beam, as well as Future Sight. So let's go ahead and take a look at all that so we can determine whether or not you would actually really want to, have this, trade multiple of them to get into the Great League, which honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea. What else are you going to do? Completely try to max one of these out. And before we hop into the movesets for those last legendary Pokemon, let's go ahead and take a look at some mythicals here. Jirachi should be coming to GoFest this year, so look forward to that. It's going to be quite exciting. We're going to go over those moves here in just a moment. So we do have Celebi, Jirachi, and Mew, all of which can be and perform in the Great League. So we have Celebi with a Psychic and Grass typing, max CP 3,265, attack 210, defense 210, and stamina 225. Then Jirachi, Steel and Psychic type, pretty good there with a max CP of 3,265, attack 210, defense 210, stamina 225. As you can see, all of these mythicals here, their stats are exactly the same. CP are exactly the same. The only difference is going to be their typing, in which Mew is going to only hold the single type of Psychic. And as you can see, same stats. The only difference is going to be the moves here. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at Cresselia here. First, we're going to go over the 100% IV. So without any Wither Boost, that's going to be 1633, 100% IV, 1633. Under Windy Weather, 100% IV is going to be 2041. Then if we look at the weaknesses, we know it's going to be weak to Bug, Dark, and Ghost, which we've went over the counters here. And then it's going to be resisting Fighting and Psychic. Now, let's go ahead and look at the movesets here, which we came to look at. It's going to have Psycho Cut and Confusion for the quick moves. Charge moves are going to be Future Sight, Moonblast, and Aura Beam. So the only charge move it's going to be getting staff from is going to be Future Sight, which we know takes, a decent amount of time to finally charge up. And with Cresselia's massive tankiness, it could find some good usability. but as of now, I'm going to tell you that there's probably going to be other Pokemon that you can use in its place. Although, if you did trade it and the IVs did drop low enough for you to use it in the Great League, it's not going to be a horrible option or anything like that. I'm just trying to show you the numbers here and make it a determining factor in whether or not you really want to possibly invest in this, like maxing it out. So you got a lucky one if you're considering powering it up. You know, that's your Stardust. Personally, for me, I just completely maxed out a Slowpoke yesterday, so who am I to judge on what you use your Stardust on? So there you have Cresselia. Alright, so here we have Defense Form Deoxys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the moves, because it does have a pretty good moveset. Disregard that Legacy Zap Cannon there. So we're going to go down to the fast moves. It's going to have Zen Headbutt as well as Counter. It will be getting stab from Zen Headbutt. Counter is going to be a great move to have on it for coverage, because you will be weak to dark types, and which you will be doing super effective damage with Counter, and as we know, Counter is an amazing move in PvP. As far as the charge moves go, we have Thunderbolt, Rock Slide, and Psycho Boost, all of which are going to be a double charge move in PvP, so you will be able to get those off at a fairly fast rate, as well as have some pretty good bulk to your Pokemon Defense Form Deoxys. So there you go. The movesets on this one are actually looking a lot better personally for me. You do not have any coverage to go up against your weaknesses. Cresselia will have that Moonblast, I suppose, for the charge moves. It's going to be a fairy typing, super effective to dark types, so it does have it in that regard, but it's going to come down to you finally getting it off, and are they going to even shield it up, right? As far as the counter on the Defense Form Deoxys, you're going to be able to continuously hit them up with that. There's no way they can shield those, so it's looking pretty good for Defense Form Deoxys as far as the Great League goes. Alright, now here we have Lugia. This one's going to be a little bit different, because when you do max it out, it will be able to do some sort of damage and be useful in raids personally, and also attacking gyms. Being double resistant to fighting, going up against possible fighting type raids, it will be able to help you out in that regard. And other than that, you will be able to trade it into the Great League if the IVs did drop low enough. So if you do have one of those, congratulations, it's pretty nice to have. I would and was going to use it in the regional battles, but unfortunately my app, if you watched that video, was not letting me play that day, so I had to drop out of the regionals, which was quite devastating. Anyways, moving on here, it's going to be pretty good. Let's go ahead and take a look at its moves. We have, for the quick moves, Extra Sensory and Dragon Tail. And then for the charge moves, we have Future Sight, Sky Attack, and Hydro Pump. Sky Attack is going to be a double charge move in PvP. Very spammy. You can get it off continuously, either with Extra Sensory as your quick move or Dragon Tail. Personally, it really depends on the cup you're going into, but personally for the regionals, I was using Extra Sensory. I also had Sky Attack and then Hydro Pump for massive hitting coverage, seeing that Future Sight wasn't going to be too viable if I ran into, say, a Bastiodon. But other than that, if you're trying to max one of these out and then go up against a raid, personally, the moves you want without purchasing a secondary one is going to possibly be Extra Sensory to go up against those fighting type raids, and then Sky Attack, as well as you're going to get Stab and super effective damage onto those fighting Pokemon, or even possibly a Grass type. So Grass and Poison type, you'll be doing super effective with your Extra Sensory. As far as Dragon Tail goes, that can be great. That can find some good usability. Personally, I have used it in the Great League with that moveset. But it really depends upon the cup and if it's even going to be eligible to enter, because as we've seen, they're starting to rule out certain Pokemon from participating in the Silt Arena Cups, so that is something to take note of as well. But as far as the overall between Cresselia, Deoxys, and Lugia at this point, I'd say, Deoxys is pretty good. It does have Thunderbolt and Rock Slide, which it can destroy Lugia, but Lugia is pretty tanky, and it's not going to be doing super effective damage with any of its moves to Deoxys or Cresselia, but it will be able to do neutral with Dragon Tail as well as Sky Attack. So if I had to take a pick out of all three of one of these, I would say Lugia is going to be your best option if you are able to actually get it into the Great League. And not only that, but you can completely max it out and it will have some usability there. And its shiny does look amazing too. Cresselia's shiny is awesome, which we will all be seeing shortly here. So there you have Lugia and my thoughts on that. Now let's go ahead and hop into the Mythicals. Alright, now here we have Mew, and if you're thinking to yourself, well, Deoxys is also a Mythical, how come you didn't categorize it over here as well? Yes, that's true, but sometimes it can be a Legendary, sometimes it could be a Mythical, but right now it's categorized under Mythical, so let's just stick to that. But anyways, as you can see, Mew's massive move pool here, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So getting the correct moveset that you want is gonna it's going to be a roll of the dice. You're going to have a lot of charge TMs. I did that back in the day. Wow, we're still scrolling down here. It's still showing us the best sets. This is unbelievable. So Mew is a tricky Pokemon. If and one day it is allowed to be used in the Silph Arena, you will be able to pick and choose what you want to go in there with, and it's going to be quite hard to finally determine what is going to be the best set. Although we do have simulators to give us those numbers, so it shouldn't be really that hard. Looking at the charge moves here, I don't think I'm going to run through all of them and say all of the names because we'll be here for quite some time. I don't want this video to go over 20 minutes, but it does have plenty of different things to pick and choose from. Quite nice. Now, out of the quick moves here, if I had to choose one, we do have Shadow Claw, Dragon Tail, pretty good. Rock Smash and Steel Wing, I don't know. Depends. Really depends. Snarl's good too. You will be able to, if you had a mirror match against another psychic type, well, I wouldn't say a mirror match, but the same typing there, you will be able to hit it with at least super effective. Infestation is going to get you your energy really quick for your charge move, so that is something to also take note of. Infestation, actually, now that I think about it, very interesting. Although I already powered up mine and maxed it out, so I'm not going to be able to use it in the Great League, unfortunately. But that's not going to happen with Jirachi. I'm not going to power it up. We're going to keep it in the Great League. So plenty of good moves, right, for the quick attacks. When it comes to the charge moves, you can, I mean, look at this. It's looking amazing. So Mew, very awesome. We'll see if it's actually going to be allowed one day in the Silph Arena. But for now, it's probably looking like one of the best. So it does have a fire move, so we'll be able to do super effective to both Celebi and Jirachi, being the grass and then the steel type for either of those. And then you have plenty of other coverages. Psyshock, I think, is going to be one of your best options if you were to purchase a secondary move to have it there. You will be able to get stabbed as well as continuously getting it off. And if you did have Infestation, the Psyshock spam is going to be real. And so on. We have Dragon Claw, that should be good coverage. Rock Slide, as we know, is a great move in PvP as well. Many of these in here are Wild Charge is also going to be fantastic. Something to consider if you were able to land on that move personally. And honestly, I forgot what moves I have on my Mew. It's been so long, I need to go take a look at that. I might just put an image up here on the side. I do believe it has Snarl for the quick move. But there you go, Mew, move pool, looking absolutely outrageous. You can pick and choose. So let's go ahead and hop into the other ones, which is a little bit more condensed, and we can actually make a decision. Alright, so here we have Jirachi, which is going to be a Steel and Psychic type, yet to be released into Pokemon Go, but it should be coming in for Go Fest for sure. For the fast moves, we have Charge Beam and Confusion. For the charge moves, we have Doom Desire, Psychic, and Dazzling Gleam. So Dazzling Gleam is going to be a pretty decent move. Psychic is going to be able to get stabbed, but then we have Doom Desire, which is very interesting. I think it's going to be a double charge move for PvP. We're not too sure at this point. It's definitely going to be getting stabbed, and it's going to also be fairly strong. Doesn't take much energy to get it off, and it's doing a great amount of damage as well. So what combination would you want for this? Really depends. As we know, Confusion will grant you a lot of energy. It is pretty slow and leaves you vulnerable in trying to switch or get off your charge. I made a video a while back going over, I thought that it was kind of broken, but the thing is, the animation is just so long. It's not the game not working fast enough. It's just simply the animation time for Confusion is so long that you have to sit there and you can't necessarily switch or get off your charge as fast as you think you can, compared to other quick moves like Charge Beam, which has a lower animation time. And Charge Beam will grant you a decent amount of energy, I suppose. It could find some good usability, but I haven't really looked into the exact movesets you want because the Pokemon has not yet been released yet. But looking at this one compared to the other Mythicals, Mew's looking a little bit better. I wouldn't necessarily say better. It just has so many moves to pick and choose from that it's giving it a lot more coverage to go up against specific types of Pokemon here. But Jirachi is looking okay. Can't wait to see what happens here. So there you have it. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Celebi and wrap this video up. And finally, we have Celebi here, Psychic and Grass type, which can actually participate in the Rainbow Cup. So take note of that. For the fast moves, we have Charge Beam and Confusion. For the charge moves, we have Hyper Beam, Psychic, and Dazzling Gleam. So if you were to possibly consider using this for the Rainbow Cup, what would you actually want to use? Well, I'd say maybe Confusion, seeing that you're going to have a lot of Venusaurs roaming around there, and if it did hit you up with, say, it's just going to have quick grass moves, those are not going to be very effective, and then more than likely the people using a Venusaur are going to have Frenzy Plant, that's not going to be very effective as well. Sludge Bomb is going to be super effective to you. So there is that situation that you need to look out for, but other than that, do you want to consider this? And not too much, guys, not so much. I mean, you do have Slowbro. Personally, I just maxed out a Slowpoke just for kicks. It was lucky. I wanted to test it out, see how well it performs, and I will be bringing you that video in the future, possibly. But how do I like it? It was a horrible investment. Let's just say that. Yes, I could have ran the Sims to see, but I just wanted to power it up and max out a Slowpoke just for the heck of it. But anyways, that's not about this Pokemon. It's about Celebi currently. So you don't want to use it, basically. Unfortunately, it doesn't even have a grass move for some odd reason. Say if it was able to learn the Leaf Blade in replace of Hyper Beam, then that would be great. But I think they're going to be re-releasing these in possibly a shiny variants, and who knows when. I don't even want to get into speculation as to how or when they're going to be doing that. I would love to, but let's not get too deep into the rabbit hole for that kind of thing, right? But the main point here is it does have no grass charge move as well as no grass quick move, so it doesn't get the benefit that type it has. The only thing it is going to be able to, you know, possibly benefit from it is going up against another grass type or a water type, in which it will be resisting those water moves, and also it's going to just simply take super effective damage from poison type moves. So Celebi, other than that, if you completely max it out, is it going to be good? I mean, I personally have mine maxed out. I have Confusion and Dazzling Gleam going up against a, say, Machamp raid. It performs good. There's going to be better options. It's going to cost you a lot of rare candies to finally, you know, max it out, because, well, you can't just get candies unless you went to GoFest and you had those extra bit of candies, but that's still not going to even put you close to where you need to be for maxing one of these out. So if I could take back me powering it up, would I? Not really, because I still made those videos for you guys. It's still fun to have, but definitely not going to be doing that again if they re-release it and I'm able to get another one. Gonna keep it in the Great League this time. So there you have Celebi. Out of the three mythicals that we just went over, Mew, Celebi, and Jirachi, which one do I think is going to be the best? Mew's going to be pulling up in number 1. Then we have Jirachi number 2, and then coming in third is going to be Celebi. So Cresselia, what is it good for? Well, absolutely nothing. Well, I mean, it's okay. It's got bulk. We've seen it has the stamina. It has the defense. It does have confusion. Moonblast doesn't take much energy to finally get off in PvP as well. Mixed with confusion, with that decent energy gain but slow animation, you will be able to chip away at your opponent. But then again, they could just simply shield up that Moonblast, and then there you go, leaving you vulnerable there. So Cresselia, it is going to be in a shiny variant, very pretty, very nice to have. And if you are able to trade somebody and the IVs did drop low, don't get disappointed. Be happy if it went under 1500, because that is actually going to be a very big prize, much like having a Lugia shiny in the Great League, which is amazing to have as well. You will then have that prize too. So there you have Cresselia, and my thoughts as well as the other mythical and legendaries surrounding it that can perform in the Great League as well. Out of all the legendaries that we did go over, which is only going to be 2, Cresselia and Lugia. Lugia is going to be a little bit better, I suppose, because you will be able to completely max it out. It does have pretty good moves for PvP, actually really good, I would say, because Sky Attack is just amazing. But there you go. Cresselia, pretty much just a shiny prize, and if you can get it into the Great League by trading, then do so. And with that said, trainers, I'd like to say thank you for watching, and good luck out there in getting yourself a shiny Cresselia. Take care.